Welcome to Mentor Minutes. I'm Jared, and with me is
Jay,
as normal. But today we have a very special episode for you because we have the Gamecasters.
Woo, 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 woo.
All right, we have got Ryan, Natalie, and Jeff.
Hey guys.
What's up?
Hey, thanks for having
Thank you guys
us.
so much for joining us today on this really cool Mentor Minutes episode.
Great to be here.
Yeah.
You're not supposed to look at me.
I'll just trail off and
Hey, Jake, thanks for being
where
here.
fun is.
What's in your own show?
Yeah, you guys are the pros, right? So that's where you got to
That's
fill
right.
in my blanks.
Yeah,
We
me
got
too.
Right.
Just start talking when he pauses.
Yeah, okay.
Exactly. If I look like I'm about to say something, but I can't, then there you go.
That's it.
So why are we having you on today? I hear you ask. Because, first of all, you guys are awesome. If you haven't heard the Gamecasters podcast, these guys are one of the best in the biz, if not the best, board gaming podcast that you can listen to for free. Let's put it that way.
Hilarious stuff.
Excellent.
Nice.
Yep.
Yeah.
Pop
Yeah.
that little. All right.
Too kind.
Just deflate your ego just a tad. So they just had their 51st episode. The 50th was a huge celebration. Do you guys want to share anything about that?
It was a big event for us. So we knew we wanted to do something special for it. Even though, so in the current lineup, the three of us, Jeff, Natalie, and me, it was really our 25th episode together, all three of us as a collective unit. The podcast has gone through a few different eras, but it really just started in 2016. I was just kind of messing around with a buddy of mine, Jeremy, who does the music for our show still. But so the 50th episode came up and we were just like, we got to do something, and so we just kind of, Jeff does this segment on the show called the Instagram Inbox, if you've ever heard. And so we have a pretty big, I would say, enjoyment of followers who we connect with and we talk to all the time. And so we love to have, those people on the show in any way possible. And so Jeff came up with the awesome idea of having them roast us, do some tweets.
They were
And
mean.
I did check in and hear that episode. They were hilarious.
They did not hold back.
That was
No,
great.
they didn't. They
Because
had,
what were
and
you
I
asking?
didn't even have to I didn't have to push anybody. I was like, hey, can you
was
mean tweet, rag on us? And I was like, okay, here's 6 of them. And I'm like, oh, well,
Right.
that was way too fast. Let's
5 minutes
except
later.
Natalie. Everybody was very nice to Natalie.
In the business.
Let me just look through my list here.
But yeah, so it just turned out to be a fantastic episode. It all came together. We got a lot of recordings and
we got a lot of participation between the mean tweets and the Family Feud game. And then there's something else. Oh yeah, the recordings that they send in. About us.
we made people say awesome things about us. So Jared was one of those. He can attest to
I
that.
was, yeah. And it was a lot of fun. And I was serious. When I get up there, we gotta get a spotted cow. That beer is delicious.
That sounds
And it's not like anywhere down south. We're in North Carolina, and it's just not there.
really.
It's a shame. Every
what's the
time I go up
brewery?
north, though, as infrequent as that is, I always get one.
Spotted cow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a new one for me.
That's what I mean.
Heck yeah.
Do you know
We'll do it.
do you know who makes it?
Yeah, who's the brewer?
I don't remember.
Let's look it up.
Yeah, but it's always on tap in Wisconsin.
Is it really?
Yeah,
That's funny.
They have a lot of cows there, so that makes
maybe.
sense.
Yeah. Oh, made with real cow.
Yeah, real milk. No glass. Amazing.
That's great.
So it sounds like with the Gamecasters that community engagement is a big deal, and that seems to be a big focus. And can you speak more to how that came about, or was that always from the get-go? Or
No, that was really, and I'll let Jeff talk about this some more. That was really, so Jeff and I kind of started an Instagram account at the same time, within a couple weeks of each other. And we found, and again, I'll let Jeff speak to this, especially Jeff found that he had so much fun. We all had so much fun talking to the community in general. And in looking for both ways to grow the podcast and to just get more involved, it seemed like kind of like a perfect opportunity for everybody. If we can get people hey, we'll shout you out, listen to the show. It'll be fun for you. It'll be fun for us. And again, Jeff, take it from there if you want on how you like doing that.
Yeah, it's been really entertaining to do that. And I remember the day that Ryan kind of started his Instagram account, a year or so ago. he was like, I started an Instagram account for board games. And I was like, oh, I want to do that. Like I thought about it and I was like, well, let me start one. So I would like text him. I'm like, how about this name? How about this name? And that's like where like the Mad Board Gamer came from. And yeah, it's been really cool. You know, Instagram is a great format because it's pictures and how else to describe modern board games and through pictures, really. Like that catches people's eyes, catches people's attention. So that's why I did that instead of like, you know, Twitter or something else. And really, I feel like just commenting on people's pictures and posting stories and talking to people, everybody's so nice on Instagram. And I know that there are some stuff on Twitter and there's stuff on Facebook where people get a little, you know, weird and mean. But like, I feel like everybody on Instagram is so nice, and that honestly, we've made friends with people on Instagram, and I only know them through Instagram. And I'm like, you know, they're my friends, and it's cool to see them post and to now like be a part of their life a little bit is really cool. So it's been a really fun experience doing that.
Yeah. That's how I found out about the Gamecasters. Was you and I started chatting on Instagram.
Yep.
And I think you said, hey, check out my podcast. I said, hey, check out my YouTube channel. And
yep.
And we just kept talking. And yeah, I checked out the episodes like back to what the first one that you joined in with the Gamecasters. So I haven't heard anything before, Jeff. So I can't speak the quality.
It's garbage.
You know what? I'll tell you this, it's very different. The first episodes were me and Jeremy, and we were just we didn't know what we were doing. We would just play a game. You know, he would come over for a game night. We'd play a couple games. I'd be like, you want to talk about what we just played? Yeah, sure. And we just record it. And they were only 45 minutes to an hour. And then he decided after the 10th episode, he was just like, I don't want to do this anymore. Because I kind of like strong-armed him into doing it. He was like, I don't really want to do that anymore. And I was kind of like, oh, so I did 2 episodes on my own, but it was boring. You know what I mean? For me, I mean, it was amazing for the listeners. They loved it, but it's boring.
Like bring back Ryan.
I got so much email. Stop it. What are you doing? This is crap. No. And so then for like 2 years, I didn't do anything until Natalie and I got together. And then she expressed the, interest in wanting to start up. And we did that, but we always kind of knew we were missing that like mad board gamer-ish kind of personality.
Not only that, like we play all our games together, and so I felt like it was a little bit boring. Like we need like someone else who like has other experiences outside of just us.
I'll be that someone else.
Yeah. How do you feel about being the third wheel, Jeff?
I love it. It's the third. Yeah, that's who I am. I've accepted my role.
The glue.
I've accepted it.
That only Jim Gamer listens to.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's a cool dynamic to see the 3 of you guys all together, you know, and the discussions. And having 3 allows you to do the games that you do now, you know, where one person can prepare and the other 2 can sort of compete. And that's a really cool thing that not every podcast can even do. So, you know, that's something really unique.
We really try to, and I mean, I know we don't reinvent the wheel here, but we really, one of the things I wanted with the Gamecasters show was to do things that maybe some of the other podcasts, the main flagship podcasts, aren't doing. And again, you know, the community engagement that we do with the Instagram inbox, the board game beatdown segment that we do, the game, you know, I feel like a lot of those things, other podcasts just aren't doing that.
Yeah.
And, you know, we strive to be one, like a main flagship podcast for people, you know, and so
you guys do have a lot of unique like segments that you put into the show. And I do appreciate those. I think the board game beatdown is one of my favorites. I do have to ask about, so you have all these like musical transitions and stuff. Is Jeremy the one that does all of those?
Yes, Jeremy put all that together for me.
Yeah,
he's a very talented guy.
Very creative.
He's
awesome.
He's a talented artist, both musical and art, you know, drawing wise, I guess you could say. He's great with that stuff. And I don't know if you remember, if you remember episode 50, at the very beginning of it, there was a phone call.
Goofy.
The episode. No, not the farmer. No, it was funny. He
the phone call. All right, that phone call was good.
He was like, "Hey, I've been trying to get a hold of you to do episode 11." And if you had listened before, you would get that joke because he did the first 10. But yeah, so he produces all that stuff on his computer. And if anybody's looking for music or anything like that for a project of theirs, they can get a hold of us, and we can get a hold of Jeremy.
He actually was on a podcast for our work, which is an insurance company, and Jeremy did the music for that one too.
That's awesome.
Cool. Musician for hire.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, I had a friend who helped me kind of get my YouTube channel off the ground, who was more experienced with video, with editing, with green screening, and music. Well, I mean, we're both musicians and stuff, but he does a lot of like his own recording stuff that, little 30-second stuff. And so not only did he help me get the first few episodes like done and prepped, but he came up with the intro music in the tutorials that I do, where the loud drums come in, and that's the music you hear as the game's getting set up or whatever. Every other song has been like free license music that you can find on YouTube.
Right.
Cool. I just
that's a
don't
good
have
way.
another resource.
I think starting out though, that's probably good. Good way to shortcut a lot of that stuff too.
Yeah.
You don't need anything else, right? Yeah, for sure.
Well, I mean, one thing I've learned just by watching you is, when I look at how you did the setup, how you're videoing and everything else, it kind of it sort of takes away some of that intimidation factor of saying, hey, I see how you're doing this. It's not like this magic, behind the scenes stuff that it's accessible. And I think for podcasting, that's probably one of the easier ones I would think to get into, but I think it's also one of the harder ones to succeed at because there's so much other noise out there,
100%. You are so correct. It is infinitely easier, I'll say, than producing video. It's infinitely easier. But like I agree with you 100%. I mean, I would say it's got to be hard to break in, on the video side as well, because there's a ton of content out there. How do you separate yourself? How do you grow? How do you get exposure? You come to the Gateway Network. That's what you do.
The Gateway Network.
GatewayNetwork.com.
Free advertising.
That's funny.
So speaking of the Gateway Network,
You bring that up?
What is this you speak of, Jay?
Yeah. So when did you guys decide collectively that it was a good idea to expand by adding other sort of creators in all kinds of different mediums?
Honestly, there was I'm sure Jared, I'm sure Jay, I'm sure you guys know this just from doing your content, that it's hard to achieve real organic growth, especially in a niche hobby such as board gaming, especially when there's a few main flagship podcasts, websites, YouTube channels.
Well, we won't mention those.
But you know it. But you know what
Everybody
I mean.
knows what they are. Yeah.
No free advertising here.
People don't. It's easy to go to those ones, and they sometimes don't see or care about all other potential extraneous ones that are maybe really, really good. And so I had been getting a little frustrated because I'm like, damn it, we are a great show.
Yeah.
I think we're really good, and I just think people need to hear us more. So I thought about how can I help us? How can I help other board gaming content creators? And the Gateway idea was born out of that. Honestly, it's just a desire for me to help.
To steal our fans.
Our show, to steal your fans.
Borrow.
Yeah.
We're borrowing your fans.
I get it.
I really don't want anyone else to succeed other than me, but I have to create some sort of veiled succession plan.
Yeah.
Well, I think
and it's a magnanimous way to do that.
I think that when COVID hit,
it's almost like I was thinking about this too. It's almost like crowdsourcing in order to get sort of mass attention, because like you said, you've got one. If you just have one, you've got to work extra hard to be seen. But if you have 10 others that are reinforcing, hey, check these guys out, and you're doing the same with them, I think maybe a high tide raises all ships or something. But
that's the idea.
Yeah.
That's definitely the idea, and we've seen it.
We're all under the umbrella of that brand,
right?
Yeah, we've seen it work a lot already. The Board Game Snobs podcast has been doing some pretty good shout outs for us, for the Gateway, for Fantasy and Some Flights, for I think Superboard Sunday is another podcast that they're doing, and we've been doing shouting out Meeple Mentor and everybody that's also in network. And for us personally, we've seen it reflected in our downloads already so far.
That's awesome.
I just think that as we grow, I mean, it's slow, it's a slow kind of growth thing, but I think I'm hoping that this is the best way for all of us who are good. Meeple Mentor, you're good. Your stuff is great. Fantasy and Some Flights, great podcast. We're the Gamecasters. We're the best one.
Clearly.
I think that we all have something to offer that is outside of just the dice tower, you know?
Yeah.
Again.
Just bleep that when you edit it. Just outside the beep beep.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'll do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do think it's a really cool like idea to like get us all together and really just help each other. And I wish I came up with the idea.
Yeah.
You can tell people that if you want.
Yeah. It's a community of ideas.
Yeah, but I'll do no responsibility for it.
Absolutely not.
What were you saying about COVID? You were saying something about COVID.
Oh, I was just gonna say, I think that correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that the idea came to you because when COVID hit, our numbers like went down,
plummeted,
and we didn't know. We're like, I can't tell. Is it because of COVID? Is it something else?
Is it Jeff?
Are we?
Maybe it's Jeff.
Maybe it was Jeff.
It was Jeff.
It's the era of low downloads.
Panicked, like what's going on? It's not going back up that quickly, and so he kind of was like, "What can we do to like jumpstart this?"
Because Jared, that you can't you're not allowed to go on Facebook groups and just promote yourself. People don't like that most of the time.
Usually. I still do it, but yeah.
Yeah. Once.
A lot of people don't, even people within those groups, they see that and they just go right by. They're just like, oh, this person's just shilling. And it's like, how do you win? How does anyone actually do this? So
Did you ever sort of come up with a theory as to why COVID affected your listens? Because I know for me, I used to only listen to podcasts in the car.
Yep.
That's it.
And working from home, that stopped.
Exactly
a lot of mine.
Yep.
Yeah, that's it. Okay.
That's what we thought happened. People didn't have a commute to listen to the podcast, especially one like ours that's like 2 hours long. No one's just going to sit in their house and listen to our podcast for 2 hours. So
yeah. Well, some people.
I think that now
Weird
that it's been
people.
so long, it's picked up. Like for me personally, like I didn't listen to podcasts at first at home, and now I do because like I miss all my podcasts. I don't have an opportunity to listen to them, so I'm just going to make time for it.
Yeah. Well, for me, and I know this is a very unique answer, but I tend to listen to y'all's podcast and the Office podcast, like whenever I'm doing any recording, wherever it's not dialogue, right? And I'm doing close-ups of games that I'm about to do a tutorial for, and those shoots can be hours, to get all the footage. And so basically I'm in the room alone, just filming like pieces of cardboard and stuff. And so it's like,
so sad.
Yeah. It's like, instead of feeling like a loser, I'll just catch up on my podcast. So that's where I catch up on all that stuff.
Yeah, no, that's great. We just feel like if we're going to be in this new world where people aren't in the car as much, we have to make it more fun for them to want to listen to. If we're a 2-hour podcast and we're just a wall of text, without any paragraph line breaks, then people aren't going to want to listen to us. So, we just try to be as entertaining and up and, come up with new content, new ways to make it fun for people to listen. And that's reflected in our downloads as well. We're doing as well as we ever have right now. We're at like a high point. I hope we're not peaking, but we're doing really good. So it's
the
number 11 in the Philippines.
I was going to say, we're doing well
in the
for
Philippines,
us, but it's not like, we have like tons of downloads, even still.
Okay, Natalie.
I know. What are you doing?
God.
What are the liberties right now?
Just edit this whole thing out.
I'm trying to make it sound like we're like the #1 podcast because we definitely have a long way to go.
Well, I think any really board game content. I mean, if you look, in the scheme of everything out there, even the big guys like the Dice Tower. I mean, if you look at their YouTube videos, I mean, the videos my daughter's watching of like these teenagers pretending to be doll voices gets like 300 million views, and I'm like, I wouldn't even do that if I could because it's so degrading.
But how do they do it?
Yeah.
It's like
they do it, and they get it's just it's crazy.
Point a camera at your children and their lives, and you'll make millions of dollars.
Or like open up some toys, and then you have
Ryan's
like a million
toy
viewers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, to some extent, an unboxing video is kind of like that.
Yeah.
So I can't criticize too hard because I do unboxing videos on the channel.
I can understand
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's just adult toys, I guess.
that. Right.
True. Yeah.
Whoa.
Just
This is a family show, Jared.
Told me to be good, remember?
What's here's a funny thought. What's the most like boring adult way to describe being a board gamer?
Man, I think you said it a few minutes ago. It was like sitting alone in a room, taking video of cardboard pieces.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, you're like punching cardboard and reading rules. That's what I do.
Yeah.
Components back and forth with your finger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you know,
Pushing cubes.
I enjoy that so much though. I mean, I literally like will smell a new game box.
Me too.
You know, I love that smell, and I'm probably insane, but
This is my smelling box. I just have this on hand to smell.
Nice.
Tolkien.
oh, that's a good choice.
Is that set up? Are you ready to play
Good
this?
choice. Good choice.
It's great. Yeah, I wear it like a beekeeper's mask.
I just strap the Stone Age cup around my face and
Oh, gross.
just suck in those subpar leather whiffs.
Leathery goodness.
You know, I actually put. I was like trying to get rid of the stank from that cup.
Yeah, that's
All right, so I actually put coffee beans, like high grade coffee beans, loaded it up, put it in the freezer for 2 days. And because I read this online, okay, and now it actually, I mean, it smells like coffee, but it took that smell away. It's 100% improved.
Wow.
So
Okay.
just that's a pro tip right
Wow.
there. Pro tip for Stone Age.
Wow.
De-smelling that dice cup. Ugh.
That's the
So
worst. Yeah.
have you guys ever done anything to alter the scent of any of your game components?
Scent.
I'm not a big game component smeller or sniffer.
Well, I think what he's asking is like, so there's some games where there's like they're wooden components. You can tell they're laser cut, and they just have that like smoky smell.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
I'm trying to think of anything I even like remember.
Have you played Chick-a-Pig?
no.
Okay, so that one it has like a really weird like wooden or type of wood that they use to punch out these pieces, and because of that has a very distinct smell to all the pieces in that game.
Huh.
And I'd never smelled it before in any other game, and it's just odd. Now there is one game or two games actually that I did add a scent to, and I will say it's weird, but hear me out. It's the small box games Mint Delivery and Mint Works.
Oh, okay.
I can see why you did.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean they're wooden little pieces, but they don't smell like mints. And so I just put like a whole bunch of there's some cinnamon and
It's
mint.
brilliant.
So I just dropped each of them with drops of mint and cinnamon.
And so now they smell like that.
Now they smell like that.
This is
But
great.
what I didn't realize is that the oils, because it was just pure oil drops, it actually like ruined the paint, and all the paint
Wow.
started coming off and smearing, and ugh, it was a big mess.
Oh boy.
So
So you don't
they're also a bit more sticky because of that.
That.
This is going to be a top 10 list.
I know.
This is going to be like top 10
Top 10 games to add
smells.
scents to or something.
I bet nobody's ever done this before.
You're adding a scent
I
to
know,
a game.
but now that you say that, it could totally change the experience of the
Well,
game.
Yeah.
because now they're sticky and kind of like the paint's kind of smudgy. I'm like, I don't know if I should have done it in the first place.
I'm telling you, there's a brilliant topic here, though. It's like everybody does like geek up bits and everything else for their games, coins.
Scent up.
Yeah, sent up.
There is a booth at Gen Con that sells, I think it's mostly for like D&D and mini players, but like in RPGs that they sell scents or scents. So you can like buy the forest smell. And then if you're doing like a D&D campaign in the forest, yeah, it's like a candle or like one of these like,
Essential oils or something.
yeah.
Oh, okay. Interesting. I've never seen that.
Yeah.
I like that. I like that topic.
That's
Yeah. All these new products for board games to
I
enhance.
know.
some top 5 ideas. Top 5 games to add a scent to.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there you go.
Yeah.
Smell-o-vision.
Cure of Meeple Mentor.
Agricola. We want to smell the farm.
Istanbul.
You mean the
Like
manure?
manure.
Yes, exactly.
Like
Get some animal poop.
Just
Yeah,
rub
I
it
want
and
to
poop until it
Yep.
smells.
Yeah.
Smell like
was obvious.
16th century farming, whatever.
Yeah.
All the fun of 16th century poop.
Best comments ever. I'm looking around to see what games I could add a smell
I
to.
know.
Yeah.
Yeah. This
Kind of like
fascinating
a
topic.
food game.
Fascinating. Or the cocoa beans in Teotihuacan.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think
That's another
that
coffee
deserves a good scent.
Place them with coffee
Yeah.
beans, with coffee
That's
grounds.
the component.
Hey, it's doable.
Oh, you could get you could actually use food like in substitute, like chocolate covered
In Zoltan.
coffee beans.
Oh, for the actual currency.
Yeah,
You could do that.
Like-
Wasn't there some edible like Catan
there
a while
was.
back? It was like a chocolate Catan.
I don't want to eat that. Nope. Don't want to
Yeah.
play it. Don't want to eat it.
Yeah, exactly.
You said you do or don't want to play it?
No.
Well, yeah, you could definitely pick some berries.
Well, I mean,
Well,
Deadly
If you're-
nightshade, so nobody
the
would eat
berries
them.
with berries.
oh, here you go. Here's another topic you can discuss. Games that you would rather eat than play if they were edible.
Yeah, that's a good call.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah, like New York Slice, definitely.
Yeah. I'd rather eat that than play it.
Yeah, definitely.
I might
Because I know that for a fact. Because every time I play that, I'm like, dude, let's order a
I
pizza.
know,
I'm
I know,
starving.
I get so hungry.
Yeah. Well, Sushi Go. Obviously, Sushi Go.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the donut one? It's like the
go
Yeah.
nuts.
Go Nuts.
that's it.
Yeah.
Donuts for donuts. Yeah. Yeah. Just name all the food games, right?
Sure. Well, those are easy. You know, I'm talking like, let's get into the Euros, man.
Viticulture. There you go.
Yeah.
So the Gateway Network, I'm curious. So how many are there content, affiliates at this point?
So far, we have 13, I think, as of today. I think there's either 13 or 15. I have to look at the list to make sure.
Are you setting a cap at any point for how many?
No, I originally wanted to start with just 10. And then I reached out to a bunch of people, and a bunch of people said no.
Yeah.
Some people I thought, maybe we're already a little bit too big, but I was kind of hoping for one that was a little bigger to help legitimize us, So when I reach out to other people, I tell them, hey, we've got Meeple Mentor on board. So now that you want to be in business with us.
Icing in the cake.
A lot of the problem I've been having is people think that I'm trying to steal their data.
Yeah.
A lot of people are kind of like, what's your game? And I'm like, I just want you to get 1 million followers because I like you.
Yeah.
And they're just like, I don't believe you. Are you stealing
Yeah.
my stuff? We've had a lot of questions about that. Like, what do we have to do? And I'm like, you just do the same thing that we want to do, just on your content, shout us out. We'll shout you out. You make a new post, I'll share it for you. It's nothing for me to do that. It's really just, it only benefits me. I enjoy it. I like your content. I like all these people's content. And so it's just kind of a natural fit. But so, yeah, we have 13, I think, right now. And that there's a handful, there's more podcasts than anything. I think we have 5 podcasts. We have a handful of YouTube channels, yours included. We have the website, Jim's website, whatboardgame.com. And we have a handful of just Instagram accounts.
Now, was one of them Meeple People?
Yeah, Meeple People Comedy is one of them. Have you seen that show?
Yeah. I mean,
It's a
Really?
great show.
it's so good.
I love it.
It's so good. And I was, when I saw that as one of the names, I said, wow, they're like in LA, right? Aren't they in LA?
We're
And
legit.
This is legit production.
yeah. And hopefully they'll make more content. I know they said they're trying to, get funded and all that, but I just thought, other than maybe like tabletop, which kind of was just really hit me by surprise.
Sure.
Meeple People, I just thought you can't make like a sitcom or something like that, or a webisode out of board games and actually have it that funny. And they pulled it off.
And they did it. Yep.
It's amazing. And I think it's probably I think it can appeal to people that even don't play board games.
Yeah.
100%. 100%.
I mean, it's all about the people and the interactions and the situations that kind of get created. And, maybe board gamers might identify more with those situations, but I mean, the emotions and the people connections, that's all, very universal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My wife, who's not like a huge gamer, I made her watch some episodes and she's like, oh, that guy's in your group. So she was pointing out kind of like the stereotypes as well.
She didn't mention me in that. did she?
No,
Okay.
this was pre you.
Oh, okay.
But she thought it was hilarious too, and I think it was because it was just it was also that common setting of inviting a new person over and getting to feel them out with that sort of board game undercurrency. But I thought it was really, really great.
Yeah, they're awesome. They're awesome people, and they've been really welcoming and really eager to grow. They want to grow themselves,
Mm.
And it's funny, when we interviewed them, some time ago, and I asked them if they had heard of the web series Board with Life. Have you guys heard of Board with Life?
Mm-mm.
I've heard of it, but I'm trying to picture it in my head.
Check them out. That they did the web series, the board game series thing first. And they have 2 seasons, and they're so good. Chris Bryan, who's a board game designer, it was like the brainchild behind that. And I asked them, I'm like, did you guys take inspiration from Board with Life? And they were like, we had just wrapped filming everything. and somebody showed us that series, and we thought we were the only, this is a fresh, brand new idea from us, and it's really good. And they were like, "Oh no, well, we're just going to put it out there anyway."
Hey, there can be more than one.
Yeah, absolutely. And they don't feel similar in any way.
No. Well, because the Bored with Life one is like, they're like actual episodes. They're not like 2 minutes like the Meeple People ones.
Okay, I'll have to check that out because I've heard the name before, but
you'll like
it. I've never watched it. Now that you describe it.
That girl, awesome. That one of the girls in it, wasn't she?
She works for Plaid Hat.
Yeah, she works for Plaid Hat. We saw her at Gen. Cool. We're like, oh, you were from Bored with Life.
Love Plaid Hat.
That's really cool. I'll have to check them out. I'm looking forward to that now.
Yeah,
me too. It's really funny. Really funny.
What have you guys done as far as considering like merchandising opportunities? I see a lot of content creators like selling T-shirts and stuff like that now. So, are you guys getting into that much?
Jeff, you want to take that one?
We just started talking about.
We just started kind of talking about that. We're curious of how much investment do we put in with maybe no one buying anything? Do we possibly take orders for like a Gamecaster T-shirt or a Gateway Yeti or something like that, and then just essentially zero out and just buy the things for the people and ship them to where they need to go. What's great is we have awesome logos, so the logos they look good in places. And what's been kind of cool is, and Ryan, correct me if I'm wrong, I think one of our Gateway people, Brian's Got Game, he wants something to put in his videos. Like he wants a Gateway something, like a shirt to wear while he does his reviews and stuff like that. So we've been really toying with it, and we want it. And I have like just kind of tumblers for the three of us sitting in like a cart on this website that customizes things. But yeah, we're trying to figure out what do we do? How do we do that without, spending an entire paycheck, and then we have 10 each, and we're like, well, nobody wants our stuff.
Yeah, garage full of stuff.
Yeah.
People buy it. That's the part we're not sure.
I think we would get people to buy it. Like Jeff said, it's a big expense out the gate. You know what I mean? What are you showing us here? Meeple Mentor
hat.
So you can get like T-shirts and hats and stuff with Meeple Mentor on it.
Oh, that's cool.
I haven't paid a cent to get any of that done, but the whole like the page and the products are all managed by one company, and basically I just take a small percent. So.
Okay.
Yeah. So like they sell it, and then you just get a little bit.
But I can put this into my website, and now it's just like a shop that you can immediately like join and look at and buy something, and I never have to deal with any of the logistics or any of the spending or whatever production.
Yeah, you just don't get as much of a cut. Yeah, we need to talk to you about that.
We don't care that much about
Well,
money on it. We just want to.
Not to say I've sold anything yet, but I mean, theoretically, that's how it works.
Yeah. Well, now that we know,
we'll buy out your stock.
All right. I think they said they
orders.
I know, right? I think they said that they produced like some samples, so I don't know how many they have on hand, but
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, let's look into that.
Yeah, for sure. But I mean, having like T-shirts, like Jeff said, we have our own T-shirts that we made for ourselves. But like, we haven't given anyone.
Likewise, I have like a similar shirt to this that has the games in it, but it's a custom one, and it says Meeple Mentor like biggest in the center.
I've seen that.
Yeah, that's a cool shirt. I've seen that in some of your videos.
Yeah, that one was a custom made Mr. Meeple T-shirts. He was asking me like, hey, we're doing this as part of the Kickstarter campaign, and since I'm about to send you a shipment of shirts, do you want to just customize your own? And I said, yeah, can I add Meeple Mentor on there? And he's like, yeah, sure. And so I came up with my own list of games that would go on there, and then they put it together.
That's cool.
Yeah, I think that's a huge perk too of we were talking about this of being in the hobby. Is it seems like it's so maybe less competitive, and maybe that's just me being naive, but it's
new.
I'm very new, but it seems like people tend to be willing to help each other out and do mentions. And I think it's because maybe this is a passion and a love for most people who aren't really making money from it. Whereas if you were getting, millions of subscribers, you might be, have a different perspective. At least that's my take. What do you guys say to that?
You hit the nail on the head right there. I think it helps with most people who do what we're doing, what you guys are doing, understand that we're not going to make any money doing it or very little money doing it. So for most of us, like you just said, that's not the point. You know,
Mhm.
we just love this hobby. We love everything about it. And that's what motivates us to do what we do. We've all got day jobs. Jeff's a teacher. Natalie and I work in insurance. And we're not expecting to, pull a Jamie from the Secret Cabal and do this full time, especially not right now. You know what I mean? We're not expecting that. We're doing it out of the love that we have for it. I don't make any money from scripting and from editing the videos and putting them out and do all that stuff. I just do it because I like to do it. And I like to hang out with Natalie and Jeff. And I like to do stuff like this, like we're doing with you. This is the stuff that's coming back that we all enjoy is, Jared listens to our show. Jay, you just told me you listened to episode 51. You had a beef with our stuff. That's great. That's everything we ever wanted. And I think what you said is exactly right. I think most people in this hobby are that way. This is fun for them. So they just want to have more fun doing it.
Yeah. And I think you're right. You said meeting a bunch of people. We just started playing like Among Us online with a bunch of people that we know through the podcast.
Yeah, we gotta get on there soon.
And we've now, like, these people we've never met before, we've only talked to on Instagram. Now we're like talking to them, playing a game with them, and it's like we're hanging out with a group of friends that we've never actually met, but it's so awesome. And that wouldn't have happened if we didn't have this podcast.
Yeah, it's true. You've said similar things.
Yeah,
to me.
it's been really cool. And as far as like on my side too, even just the perks of being a board gamer and providing content and making connections both for like friendships and for like publishers and those business connections and being able to like interview like game designers, which I've been doing slowly, but I've had a couple now on the channel. Yep. I never would have thought I'd ever get to actually like interview like Jamie Stegmaier or Shim Phillips. I mean, like,
yeah, how cool is that?
Right.
That's awesome.
Their names are on boxes. Like they're on
like their name printed on all these games. And I'm talking to them.
In the grand scheme of things, they're nobody like us. Yeah. We're all nobodies. They're just in our world. They are the stars.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's what I think is so cool is you have genuine like adoration for someone like Jamie Stegmaier or Shem Phillips, when they're a board game designer who your next door neighbor would be like, I don't care about who's that? But to us, that's like and that just speaks to the bubble that we're in and how, like Jeff was saying earlier, this community is so tight knit and great and fun and stuff like that just makes you want to do it more. I think it's awesome that you're interviewing those people. That's like the coolest thing in the world.
Yeah. Dude.
Accessibility to your heroes, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. I never would have thought that would ever happen. But...
Yeah. I mean, you can't, it's not like, if you love movies, how easy is it to meet like movie stars? But like in this hobby, like you can actually hang out and make friends with the people that you really respect who are doing like amazing things in the industry. So
and to me, it's amazing that, someone like myself who hasn't had any prior like background or experience doing videography or whatever, within a year's time, of starting that, I'm talking to these industry top people. I'm like, what? Exactly. Talking with the Gamecasters. Are you kidding me? This is like the highlight of my life right now. But I mean, that's a pretty cool industry that, that's even possible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah.
I agree with you. Yeah. And honestly, part of the Gateway's existence is that as well. We all just want each other. We just want to build each other up. It's almost a no-brainer. I was just talking yesterday to Chris, the charity board gamer. And, he's playing Among Us with us tonight. And, he's everywhere. He's like the hardest working guy in the board game community in some ways. And, I just told him, I was like, yeah, we're talking with Meeple Mentor today. And he was just like, Jared is such a great guy. And it's like, of course they know each other.
Right.
That's true. We got it on Discord. He said it. So that's
That's awesome. Tell him I said, hey.
Awesome. Everybody knows everybody else. We're all lifting each other up here. And that's just like, it's a good time to be a gamer.
Yeah, absolutely.
Definitely.
Well, thank you guys so much for taking the time to sort of just take time out of your day and talk with us about board games, about the Gamecasters podcast, and of course the Gateway Network, which we're both now part of. This has been great.
Yeah, lots of fun. Thanks, guys.
Thank
you.
Much.
It's been awesome. Thanks.
I hope we get a chance to do this again. This has been a lot of fun.
Anytime. We don't do anything, so just please put us on your show again.
Well, this is Jared from Meeple Mentor signing off.
And I'm Jay. Catch you next time. Bye.